Hello, I am Kodili-nye, the son of the wonderful. You are welcome back to a new vlog, and we are going to be discussing important issue. But before we do, remember to like, comment, and share. I am still Kodili-nye. The issue of security in Anambra State and the whole of Nigeria is now a burning issue, especially in the homeland. Soludo has been found out, and his opponent are not letting go because they have found out the main weakness of his tenure. There are other witnesses, but the issue of security, which security can easily throw away all your good works. You might be a governor building roads, building all sorts of infrastructure. But if people cannot close their eyes, if people cannot come into the state, if people cannot move freely, if some riffraffs are stopping people from doing business on Mondays, you cannot claim to be doing anything. Security, always number one in every area of human endeavor. The security of lives and property is number one. So now we are going to be discussing the promise that Soludo is making again after some years of saying that he has secured the state. We are going to listen to him again and see, do you think he will make any progress on that again? Stay tuned. That's the government officials coming in with a litany of security apparatus and vehicles, and we'll be looking at how they will actually deploy some of these vehicles and security personnel to solve the problem in the state, because the states need all these vehicles. Towns and villages, cities in the Anambra state need all these security vehicles, and and all these people there in order to guarantee that people will move around freely in the state day and night.
End of work, which you passed into law. We presented a modest budget of 410 billion for the fiscal year 2024 compared to 259 billion for 2023, which reflected an increase of approximately 58%. Recurrent expenditure accounted for 96 billion or 23.46, while capital total expenditure total about 313.9, which was then about 76.54%. The budget deficit 2024 was estimated at 120.8 billion. As you are aware, the general macroeconomic conditions under which we have had to implement the 2024 budget have been challenging, especially with the immediate consequences of the courageous removal of fuel subsidy and the unification of the exchange rate. Inflation has continued in double digits with significant pressures on cost of living and cost of governance. Our internally generated revenue, IGR, has been grossly underperforming. And as of October 2024, budget performance has stood at about 50% pro rata, and we still have resisted the temptation to borrow. Despite the macroeconomic challenges, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, we have remained focused on the ball, delivering on all the 5 fingers of the solution agenda, namely security, law and order, infrastructure and economic transformation, human capital and social agenda, governance and value system, and the 5th being the environment, which is Anambra's #1 existence. existential threat. We are working hard, rejigging and strengthening our security architecture, and in some days and weeks to come, the Anambra will fully experience our zero tolerance to criminality. Together as a people, we must bond together to defeat the criminals amongst us. And those coming, as the speaker rightly said, from neighboring states and other parts of Nigeria. We have extended our free education policy.
Yeah, you have heard him. He says some few weeks and months and years to come that we are going to experience their work on security. I don't know if you do believe what Soludo is talking about. The Anambra state is not difficult to secure. That's the main thing. But it depends on the willingness of Soludo to act on security matters. Because Anambra, not just that is a very small area, but it's also there are a lot of people that has huge money that can always support the government. And nothing stops the government from actually borrowing for security if you don't have the money. So all the communities in Anambra State can completely be secured with proper security apparatus, planning. And security is also an industry. Why am I saying it's industry? If you employ people, they are all working, they are involved in productivity, in securing the economy. So that's why it's very, very imperative that Soludo should not allow himself to fail, because you might build so much roads, you might build so much things, but if you cannot guarantee the people's security, all those things are completely waste. So that's why Soludo must do everything in his power to secure the state. Let's take an example of Onitsha. If he can cover Onitsha with CCTV camera, with control rooms, and deploy street by street intelligence, he can actually curtail this insecurity in Anambra State, in Onitsha. He can also deploy money also for information. Intelligence is very important. And he also needs also to look into the transport sector. With disorganized transport sector in the state is also a security risk, because all manners of criminals are coming from within the state and from every other areas doing what they call one chance. Many people has lost their life, lost their valuables in the state. So for you to actually deal with these things, you need to reorganize the transport sector. In every country or cities, they make sure that transport is organized properly. Know who are engaged in these things. You don't leave it to Dick and Harry. You don't leave it to anybody, everybody. The people involved must be checked, their background checks, and a lot of things. People have to have information about them. So it's very, very important, because transport can ruin your economy, because it can be also a security risk. So another thing is all those, transport parks and all those things. Many of the riffraffs, engage in these criminalities. They also sleep there. They don't have a fixed address. So if you don't have a policy of stopping these things, making sure people are not sleeping in those parks, you run the risk of, allowing your state to be overrun by these masquerading criminals. So, issue of tackling the sit at home is just because the poor security in the state. There's no security. I know that the aides have been feeding you lies and all those things, and you encouraging people to come out to do it. How would they come out where you don't even guarantee them security? So if you can guarantee the security, there won't be nothing like sit at home. Nobody want to sit anywhere. It's just because they have found out that the government is very weak, that the government is not in the street. So the earlier you look into these things and tackle it, the better for everybody. So the soludo must not allow himself to fail. He must not allow himself to fail. If he can get grip of this security, having all those tracking devices, because those people kidnapping people or people, taking people, they has to make calls. If you have tracker, it's easily done that they cannot get away with that. And once they know that they cannot get away with these things, the business is gone. So it's very important that the government must make sure that it does the right thing. Vigilantes are very important, but you must increase their numbers. You must train them. They must have everything needed. Walking talkies, everything. They must be local people. So that's why it's very, very vital for the government to make sure that, it look into these things. It's not a child play anymore. You can see the level of activity has dropped in the state. Many of the men and women of timber and caliber, they are not actually doing much events anymore in the state because it costs them a lot to provide their own security. So why not the government now intervene? You can just rigid the tax in this thing and realize the money also. Because putting just a 1,000 naira on taxation for security will do a lot of magic. So I don't think it's the finance, because some people think it's the finance. I think it's the governor's nonchalant attitude, believing what he's told, but not knowing that in the street, once it's 7 o'clock in the evening, everybody is gone because there is always fear. So leaving the street to the criminals. There's no way these occult groups will be, masquerading everywhere without being completely dealt with. So it's very, very important that government should, make hay while the sun shine. I don't know what you think about this. Whatever opinion you got, please share it. And Anambra Gardenatama Mahakwelo. I am so Kodili-nye, the son of wonderful. Remember to like, comment, and share. Thank you. See you in the next one, and God bless you. Bye.